Accountability Talks with AGA. I'm your host, Paul Marshall. Today we're doing a little video podcast and a lot of fun. Met with some of the YPs that went to the AGA NLT this year, and we're going to talk about their experience, and I think it was a lot of fun, so let's go to the show.
Hello and welcome to the podcast. Okay, I guess my meeting is being transcribed. That's fine. So today we're actually having a video podcast. First time we've tried this at AGA, so it's pretty exciting. And of course, on the Vanguard, we've got our young professionals. You know, that's how we do it around here. So why don't we just start off? What we're going to talk about today is we had a couple YPs that went to the NLT this year here in DC, and virtual. It was available. And we're just going to introduce you all to them. They're here looking at us. We have Colton and Matthew. So why don't we start off with you both and just introduce yourself. How about Colton? Why don't you start off?
Well, hi. As you now know, my name is Colton Williams. I'm a senior at Cameron University. It's based out of Oklahoma. And perhaps obviously, I'm an accounting senior. A couple things about me that people should know. I love basketball. I keep up with the NBA. I watch it every day, and I'm horrible at basketball. I love chess. I try to keep up with things. I'm horrible with chess. I also love accounting, but the hope is that maybe, we'll be at least decent at that.
Same for all of us. All right. How about Matthew?
Well, thanks, Paul, for the invite. I'm Matthew Williams. I am a junior accounting major at Drake University, located in Des Moines, Iowa. I'm a longtime Chicago area native, big Cubs fan. Since we have two teams in the area, I have to make sure that's clearly known. I am really enjoyed the opportunity to go to the conference a few weeks ago, and I think it's with my passion to give back and passion for accounting was a great way to network and learn more various opportunities in the area.
Awesome. Well, welcome. And we're also going to have Des and Courtney introduce themselves. How about Courtney? You can go next.
Hello, everyone. My name is Courtney Bruce. I am a revenue tax auditor with the Alabama Department of Revenue in Montgomery, Alabama. I'm a big sports guy, pretty much all Atlanta teams, Falcons, Braves, Hawks, and a big Georgia fan, big basketball fan. Saw the game, the national championship game on Monday. That was a big game, but that UNC Duke game, that was probably the best game I've ever seen in my life. I'm a big athlete and I love books. So, yeah.
All right. Well, I did go to Georgia Tech, so we are a little rivalry there, but otherwise you're okay. So. All right. And how about Des? Go ahead and introduce yourself.
Sure. Hi, I'm Des. I am the Student and Young Professional Programs Manager at AGA National. I had the lovely opportunity of leading our group of 10 students at the National Leadership Training in February in DC this year. And I am a Maryland native. I went to University of Maryland, now live in Northern Virginia. And fun fact, I used to do Taekwondo. I coach a Taekwondo team, and I take them to nationals every year. So that's my sports, I guess.
Wow, everybody here's a sports enthusiast or, athlete except me, I guess. So that's all right. I'm getting old. So I thought we'd all just kind of go around the room, and each of us will ask some questions about the NLT. And I think we'll just go Colton and then Matthew. We'll just do it that way for each question, make it easy for everybody. All right, so Colton, you're up. Questions coming your way. So, you attended the NLT this year. Did you have any kind of expectations or goals from this, and did you achieve them, or how do you think it turned out?
So the good answer is to learn from professionals in the field, get to network, just really meet a lot of people who knew what was going on. The more selfish answer is that a trip to DC sounds amazing, and I'm very glad I got selected for it. And both of those goals were met very well. I met a ton of people. They're all nice, all kind, and I'm really glad I got picked to go. even if Des didn't show off the Taekwondo.
Awesome. And how about you, Matthew?
Well, as I kind of alluded to, I've always had a big passion for giving back to my community, and I've always been trying to find a way, how can I connect that with my career somehow? And one of my professors passed along the link to the application of this program, and it seemed like a goldmine opportunity to meet people who do just that, serve their local community or the country that we're in the federal space throughout their career. And being able to go to NLT, be paired with a mentor, and hear about different challenges facing the federal and state local financial management industry were just so amazing, and really inspired me to continue digging deeper into looking how I can have a career in government somehow. And I didn't realize how big, I knew that you obviously have people working for agencies, working for government agencies, but I didn't know how much private sector folks actually do a lot of work with government. So that was really interesting to kind of learn and network with those folks as well. So very grateful for AGA to give me this opportunity to visit the conference. It was truly a goldmine opportunity.
Oh, Paul, we can't hear you.
We can't hear you, Paul.
Oh, can you hear me now?
Yes.
Yep.
Sorry. No, I was just saying it's a big opportunity. You know, there's like private sector, there's government, there's, you know, state, local. So absolutely, that's a very good observation. So Courtney, I know you wanted to ask something. Why don't you jump in here?
Yeah, so I know every conference or every work experience that I've ever gone to, I always learn something about myself, whether it's communicating or networking with people or developing some other sort of skill set. So I wanted to know, I'll throw this to Colton first. Have you learned anything during or after the conference?
I think the best thing that I learned was just being more comfortable in the future. You know, I think everyone, when you're first starting out in an industry or anything really, that you're nervous, you know, and we're all nervous about what's going to happen in the future, but just going to this gave me a lot of comfort knowing that I'm probably going to be working for the federal state government in the future. I got to learn a lot about the people who are working in there right now, about what they do, and I just feel a lot more comfortable about everything now. You know, I'm not nearly as nervous about the next 5 years of my life as I was about 3 months ago.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Matthew, what about you?
I would 100% echo what Colton was saying with regard to, you know, getting a chance to get exposure to a lot of different things. And you see all these careers, but getting a chance to interact with those opportunities at a deeper level and people behind those opportunities was really great. One big thing that my mentor was really enjoyed and still with me, and especially as I was doing a lot of networking during the coffee breaks and whatnot, is, you know, how do you take your elevator pitch to the next level, right, and show someone what value you bring to an organization, right? Because in an interview setting, right, you can say, oh, hi, I'm Matthew, I'm an accounting major, I'm detail-oriented, blah, 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 but really trying to articulate really strongly the value you bring just outside your technical skills was a really big thing that I got to hone and practice while at the conference.
Nice. All right, Des, you're up. What you got?
Yes, so now that you've had all this time to digest and kind of just go home, go back to your normal lives and realize the opportunity you had in front of you when you came to DC, what was your biggest takeaway from your experience there? I know that there's a lot. I was there. I was with you guys the whole time. And I know there's a lot that you took away from it, and I was there in the moment. But now that you've had time to think about it and reflect, what do you think was the biggest takeaway from your experience at NLT?
So I'm going to cheat and say two things. The first one was just how interconnected the federal government is. And it sounds so obvious now, and I'm sure you guys are like, yeah, duh. But you don't realize from the outside looking in how much everyone knows each other, how much everyone works with each other, how much effort the federal government puts in into being interconnected, having good pipelines between one agency and the other. And just, you know, there's this big miasma about the federal government when you're sitting on the outside, but it was just nice looking in to see how much everyone works together, how much everyone knows each other. And the second thing was maybe the most surprising thing to me. Everyone was so nice. I don't know how else to describe it. Everyone I spoke to was so kind, so welcoming. Everyone wanted to talk to you. No one, stuck their nose up. It's like, listen to this hick talk to me. It was great. I loved it.
Did you expect us to be mean?
I mean, I was a little
Or
worried. Des had to wrangle 10 of us all together, and she had an iron fist. I mean, I was a little scared heading up there.
All right, Matthew, go ahead.
I think that, I'm going to cheat here as well. I think, really the vast amount of opportunities available, right? When you talk about accounting, right, just like someone does your debits and credits on a daily basis, like, look, there's so many opportunities. You could be doing audit, you could be doing financial reporting, budgeting. I mean, there's so many sessions with people who did all those different tasks within agencies. It was really interesting, and being able to connect some of my coursework back to and some of the current events to what we were hearing about. And also, I think, connecting some of the things I've seen professionally a little bit to some things I've heard. When at one of my internships, I was doing some work with some FEMA work at my local municipality, and actually getting to see a session we had about how financial professionals is really important to be involved in that process to make sure that reimbursements can go through and maximize dollars in that. I was really interested to make that connection, and also just the power of networking, I think, is really emphasized that. I walked up to anyone, like, I had a little student little ribbon on my name tag. Oh, you're a student. I'm really excited to talk to you about opportunities, and everyone was just so welcoming, and just a great experience from that perspective.
Yeah, and you both mentioned everybody knows each other in the networking, and I think, that's all AGA, honestly. If we didn't have the association, it'd be very hard to do that. It just wouldn't be natural. You go outside your agency or outside your little world there. So it's a great thing that we're bringing, I think. So I have a couple questions. I'm just going to kind of combine them, but we wanted to know, who was your mentor? What did you kind of learn about that person? And also, was there a particular session or speaker that you also really liked? So yeah, maybe Colton, what do you think?
My mentor was Sarah Cunningham. She's a director at Summit Consulting, and gosh, I think lucky is the best way I can say this. I was so lucky to get her. She was just beyond kind. She wanted me to be there. She wanted to take me to everyone she knew. She wanted to talk to everyone, introduce me all the time. And she was just the nicest person. And I need to emphasize this as much as I can. Everyone up there was intelligent. Everyone up there knew what was going on. Everyone up there was obviously an expert in their field. She was an expert in everyone's field. It did not matter what conversation she was in. It didn't matter who she was talking to. She is sharp as a dadgum tack. Have a conversation with her, and you know that she should be Einstein right now. I feel like, we're holding her back. And as no comment. As for a session that I thought was the best for me, cheating again, the award ceremony with Tanisha, Zena, and Nikita. For people who don't know, they got the Eleanor Clark Diversity Leadership Award. And what I'm about to say is cheesy, but I believe it. It's important to do the right thing. It's important to be a good person, to act with integrity. It's important to treat people fairly and equally, and that's what I want to do. I want to make my community a better place, and more than that, I want to make the United States a better place. I feel like the federal government is the best place for me to be in order to help more people, and these three were doing it. They're doing what I want to do in the future, and they're doing it effectively, they're doing it well, they're doing it every single day, and it was important for me to see them. Because I don't see these opportunities where I am. You don't hear about these opportunities. And even if I didn't get anything else from NLT, if I didn't meet anyone, if I didn't talk to anyone, just seeing them, getting to speak to them, it would have been worth it.
Yeah, great. No, I definitely agree with that sentiment. So that was a great takeaway. And how about you, Matthew? You got two questions for you too.
So Doug Glenn, who's the Chief Financial Officer of OPM, Office of Personnel Management, was my mentor. And I tell everyone he was a walking Rolodex of just connections. And I believe he was a past national president. So I was convinced he knew everyone at this conference and then some. He was introducing me with, and it was a perfect match. Again, my really wanted focusing on like an accounting, finance, financial management role within the government. He was the perfect person to talk to, and he's offered his connections after the fact and helped me with some pointing me in the right direction as I'm considering some future opportunities. So was really great and very thankful. You know, we had that mentorship component, right? Because you can go into a conference and get a lot out of it, but having someone who's been to it multiple times and knows what sessions are going to give you the most impact for you as a young professional is truly invaluable. And I think to the second question in regards to favorite sessions, the three-way tie, I'll leave it at two. But the President's Management Agenda presentation with OMB and Treasury was really interesting because those things you hear about in the national news, things the administration's planning and working on, but seeing how that gets applied from like a more of an operational perspective across the federal government was really interesting. Being able to have dialogue with the presenters on that was really interesting, and I had a chance to connect with them afterward, and that was you just can't do that on an everyday basis. Get a chance to dive deep with those conversations with those opportunities. So very thankful for that. And also I think the DoD's audit challenges, I believe that's on Wednesday, I'm pretty sure it was really interesting. Again, with that focus on I maybe want to do audit in my career, you know, they're a very important agency, and seeing how things that we talk about in school about how audits work and how you have to be creative to solve those challenges, and the professionals have really had to work diligently to hopefully in the very near future get a clean opinion was really interesting. And that was just a really incredible presentation from so many standpoints. Again, an agency you've seen in the news, but getting a chance to see behind the curtain was really interesting to me.
Yeah, it's great. Yeah, I actually started my career as an auditor. I think it's a really good way to go because you just learn everything about everything, because you have to, learn all the laws and the regs and the procedures, and then you get to audit it. So yeah, it's just something I might encourage folks to try out. And if you like traveling, you get to travel. I don't know how much we're doing now with COVID, but I think we're getting further away from that, hopefully. But yeah, no, great. Thank you for that. So I think we got a couple more questions for you, and I know Courtney's ready to go. So what do you want to ask there, Courtney?
So you've had this great experience, you networked with people, you connected, you built relationships, and you attended all these great sessions. So how are you going to use this experience to help you in your studies and your career goals?
I'll say for my career goals already, my podcast career is kicking off.
Those mine. Mine is
I think that for me, just having a more clear picture of what I need to be working towards in the future is really going to help. I have a better idea of what I need to work on more, my interpersonal skills, what I need to focus on for my first job in accounting. And as for career goals, just having people to give me the advice I didn't have is so important. And it's already helping me. I'm going to start an internship in 2 months right now working for the federal government. That's something I would not be doing or would not have if it wasn't for NLT. Thank you for those claps. They're meaning a lot. And I think that...
Can you say where you're going?
Yes, the Federal Housing Finance Agency. I'm going to be the poster boy. They're setting me up there. I'm going to be modeling. Going to be great. Oh, financial models. Did you guys think something else?
With you, I figured it would be modeling. Yeah, some kind of modeling.
We can keep going. I don't mind the compliments.
What about you, Matthew?
I think it provided, again, when I entered this whole thing, I applied for the program. I was really curious to know what opportunities might exist in the federal, local, and state world. And again, getting to meet the people behind the opportunities, and people who had a really great career in those areas, really first increased my excitement about entering the field. And as in the next few months, I'm continuing to explore opportunities. in the government arena, and looking forward to seeing where that path takes me. But also, I think that, and I forget what I was going to say. I think it really just really gave me a crystal clear path about where my career can go if I can go there. And I remember I was going to say, I know I have came back to Drake with a stack of business cards of people from the conference I can reach out to, and knowing that I've begun to build this network, being a part of this program with Colton and the 9 other students, as well as all people I met professionally, is going to be just invaluable as I continue my career. And I know I can reach out to them saying, hey, we met at NLT, wonder if we can connect down the line. I think it's going to be really helpful for me in moving forward. And again, thank you to AGA for the opportunity. It was just incredible.
I would definitely like to say that I am really looking forward to you guys coming into your careers and blossoming into, great career people, and helping, governments, with all the accounting and auditing, problems and challenges that they have.
We'll do our best.
Absolutely. Yeah, welcome to the club. So I think, Beth, maybe we can wrap it up. You give us the last question here, maybe talk about the program a little bit.
Yes, so I need your guys' help now to help me recruit the next 10 that come in next year. So I would love to hear what you would want other students to hear about with this program. Like, what would you say as far as advice or any words of wisdom for them just in the application process? Maybe they're like considering it and they're like, ooh, free trip to DC, but I don't know, government's kind of weird. I don't know if I want to do that or not. And kind of like trying to push them towards applying just for the opportunity and the experience, having read your applications and being the person behind it. I know that both of you were passionate about government, but what would you say to other students who may not be? What words would you offer to help?
The government is far more expansive than you think it is. It has every single thing in accounting you could possibly think of, and it has other opportunities that you can go into. You have an accounting degree, and I know it might be a bit boring, but it's versatile. You don't just have to be an accountant. You don't just have to work for a private industry. There's tons of things you can do out there, and NLT can help you get there. And I'm going to tell you right now, the best piece of advice I can give you is to just do it. Just apply, just try. I'm in Oklahoma, and I'm in a small school in Oklahoma. If I can get there, there is no reason that you can't. And I think that it's important. It's going to give you a lot of opportunities, going to let you learn a lot of things, that you meet a lot of people. And even if you don't move on into government work, it's going to give you a good baseline of what you're going to do as an accountant for the rest of your career.
I think, to bounce off of Colton, my mentor kind of put something in perspective for me. He was introducing me to one of his counterparts at the USDA. And he goes, Matthew, do you realize you're shaking the hand of one of the top people in the CFO's office of an organization that would be on the list of the Fortune 500 if they were a publicly traded company? Like, sometimes we don't realize that these organizations, the budget of these organizations are so large. So just because it's the government doesn't mean that there's like small little thing that exists in DC. These are some huge organizations with really important challenges to solve. And if to Dustin's question about, if you're not too sure about government or you haven't really explored it yet, this would be the opportunity to do it. I mean, you get a chance to explore more about the field. You're going to be paired with a mentor who can adapt your experience to what your goals are for the conference, right? I mentioned to mine, here's what I'm interested in, and he was able to provide me insight along those lines. And if you're not too sure about if I want to just go into doing more like public company work or government work, apply for the program and expand your horizons. You will not regret that step. And I'll leave it there. I mean, it was just. You get to broaden your worldview. Even if you don't end up going the government route, you learn a lot just to become an informed citizen. I learned so much about my government in the 48 hours I was in DC, which was just incredible.
Yes, thank
I'm
you.
going to throw, oh, I'm sorry, Des.
Go ahead. Colton, go ahead.
I'm throwing a little bit more out there. The government employs people in all 50 states. It employs people in the territories. It employs people everywhere. This isn't something that you just have to live in DC to do. You don't just have to live in a very large city to do. This will open opportunities for you in every single state in the nation. Do it.
Yeah.
And you never
All
know when
over
you
the
think
world
you're
too. Don't forget. Yeah, DoD, State Department. So, I mean, we're international. So I know that's something I wanted to do when I first started, just travel the world. So I got to do a little bit, but that's always fun. So think about that too. All right. Well, no, this has been awesome. I want to wrap it up here and special thanks to Colton and Matthew, our guinea pigs today. No, I'm sorry. And of course, Courtney and Des for supporting this program and the YPs in general. And yeah, I kind of like this video podcast. You guys might inspire me to do more of these. I have to, make sure my hair looks good and all that. But I think we all look good on camera today. So thanks for showing up and wearing a shirt and pants, hopefully. And yeah, this has been great. Thanks again, and thanks for your support of AGA.
Thank you, everyone.
Thanks,
Sign off.
Thank you.
Well, that's our show. Thanks for tuning in. We'll see if we try some more of these video podcasts in the future, as long as I get the technology right. But hey, we tried it out. It was a good time. So until that next time, this is your host, Paul Marshall, for Accountability